Teacher Kathy here. Okay, video 2 about homeschooling. So let's jump into it. But before I do, don't forget to click that subscribe button and like so you can be ready for the next videos coming up about my homeschool journey and what I recommend. Okay, so let's get into the last video. I shared a little bit of history and kind of briefly touched on all these subjects, but now I'm going to get into the nitty gritty and the details. Way back when and if you didn't watch video 1, go back in and watch it. So the nitty gritty of when I got into getting into homeschooling with my daughter, um, I hooked up with homeschool groups. So go online, Google local homeschool groups in your local area. Go to park days, go to swim meets, go to activities, go to fun days, whatever they have. Go meet people, network, get involved in activities. It will help you and your kids. And the relationships formed is it's wonderful, and it's something that I wouldn't have done it without, and I don't know how I would have survived. Something else that comes from homeschool groups is co-ops, which I didn't really do a lot of those, but there are those out there where you can trade with other homeschool parents, where one teaches math and you teach science or language arts, and you kind of trade, and all the kids take a class together as homeschoolers. That's another way to do it, which is awesome. So if you have those in your area, jump into those. Um, I organized some things like I did swimming. So yeah, homeschool groups. I highly recommend it, and I think that is a great way to network for you and your kids. State laws. So every state has their own state laws, and what I recommend is HSLDA. I'll leave the link down below in the description. Homeschool Legal Defense Association. If you go on their website, you could look up your state and your laws and find out what is required in your state and how to go about it to homeschool. It is different in every state. Where I live in California, there's certain things I have to do and certain things I don't have to do. That's going to be totally different for where you are unless you are in California. So check that out, okay? I highly recommend it. They also have great resources for how you can network with other homeschoolers in your area. Now, if you're a California resident, in California, homeschooling is legal. The way that they have it set up right now, unless they change the law, which you never know with California, they could, is you file a private school affidavit just like a private school. And how this is legal is because you're not going to be paid to homeschool your own kid. Okay? So you can go online to the California Department of Education, look up private homeschool affidavit. I'll leave the link down below for you. And you are going to have download that form and just fill it out. It's really super easy. I'll make another video about that. I'm writing a note to myself so I don't forget of how you can do that exactly. And then you're done. And then the only other thing they can ask you about legally for homeschooling is the only other thing they could ask you is, excuse me, is that they can ask you for a calendar of how many days of attendance your student attended. That can be as simple as a calendar on the wall and you just X off each day that you did school. School can be home economics, cooking, laundry, cleaning, workbooks, math, spelling, reading, outing to the park, co-op classes. It doesn't matter. It can be any of those. That is school. Okay? So that's what you do in California. Now, this kind of takes me back to before I go into more detail about my curriculum is I formed a philosophy with my homeschool. Education is for life. It's at the top of my TPT store. We are all learning and we're all learning all the time. Okay? It doesn't stop just when we're kids. So I took that approach with my kids and I helped them learn and how to find information as they're learning that they wanted to learn about. And that's what's so great about homeschooling tool is you can teach to what they're interested in. Okay, let's say they're interested in biology, in animals. That's biology. There's your science. And then they read about those animals. There's your reading. They could write out spelling words, vocabulary words about those animals. There's your spelling and vocabulary. Writing is in there. And then math, that would be, how much of this is in this as far as like, water in a tank to keep a fish, or what do fish eat and how many, and or so on and so forth. So you can integrate, and that's like called unit studies. So I definitely would take it with your kids' passion because they're going to be more apt to learn if they're learning about something they're passionate about. All right, does that make sense? I hope this was helpful. I'm going to throw up a couple more videos with a little more details about the curriculum I use and maybe teaching to follow your kids' passion. Excuse me. So, click to subscribe, don't forget, and join me for the next videos, okay? All right, bye-bye.